It's about to be deer season in Alabama.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. Want to thank you all for joining us because we are the number one sports podcast network when it comes to Locked On. Thank you, guys. AK deer, Jimmy, is all the buzz. Deer season's always big in Alabama. Mm-hmm. Not that I would know. I've never hunted before, but
never know one.
I went one time and we were going down the backwoods. It was late at night when I was in college, and I was on the back of the truck with a lot of people, and two people fell off. And then when I'm in the stand, the tree stand or whatever, I stood up. No, he stood up to relieve himself. He gave me his gun, and he had been just flicking the safety on and off, on and off, on and off. And when he gave me his gun, it went off about that far from my foot. And like 20 minutes later, a bunch of people came running, "Did y'all get something?" I'm like, "No, but take me home forever and ever. I don't ever want to be here again. I almost shot myself instead of a deer." Anywho.
The most shocking thing in the whole story is this guy is relieving himself at the spot where you're hunting. The deer smell that stuff.
Well, I'm not going to go too much into this guy, but he was very effeminate, and he did not care about hunting the same way I didn't care. He was an interesting cat, and he turned out to be an interesting cat, and I'll leave it right at that. Anywho,
wow, so that was the worst hunting story I've ever heard. I'm sorry I asked.
I'm sorry I told it. So AK deer may be released into the wild this weekend against Oklahoma.
That's a rumor, and it's making its rounds. I'd heard it myself, sort of, even before it blew up. That's something that might happen. First of all, if it does happen, we shouldn't be surprised. And this is the thing about talented freshmen. They're ready when they're ready. Some of them are ready off the bus. Those are the abnormal ones. That's not normal. That's why very few do that. The normal thing is it takes a while. For most, it takes more than a year. For some, it could take multiple seasons. You're ready when you're ready. It does make sense, though, Luke, at this position that kids can get ready quicker. It's not a it's not a position that requires all-night film study for 365 days type thing. But what does take a while is the pass blocking part of it. These kids come from high school programs where that was not an ask. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't a significant thing if it was a thing. And not only that, now you're being asked to do something far more complicated. The players are coming from different places. The blitzes are more exotic in terms of who to pick up is more difficult. Oh, yeah. And then when you pick them up, by the way, they're an SEC freak athlete, not what you saw in high school, where you're probably blocking someone that's either going to be going to college and studying accounting, or they're working at Walmart. That's who you're blocking in high school. In college, you're blocking some guy who's likely to be an NFL player. So it's a big ask, but it does make more sense, Luke, that a running back would be more ready for this in November than September. So in terms of, like, if he plays and plays well, and people go, "Well, why didn't he already play it?" You're ready when you're ready. The fact that he's just randomly being talked about as playing this week shows he may have been showing some things in practice indicating that he is close to or is in fact ready. Your name's not just drawn randomly out of a hat. So in that sense, I'm not going to be surprised if he plays. I also won't be surprised if this rumor just ends up being nothing more than that. And that we don't see him at all. That's not going to surprise me.
Could be. There is a lot of buzz about it. Now, here's the one thing to remember. It may be a situation, like you're right, he wasn't ready until later in the year. Yeah, he could take a handoff. Yeah, he could go 56 yards like he didn't get against La Monroe. But it's the other nuance of the position that's the problem. And maybe now he's gotten better at that, coupled with the fact that we have shown a complete inability to be explosive in any way in the running game if it doesn't involve Jeremy Bernard or A.K. Deer one time. So it may be out of necessity, and it may be just out of, we want somebody else to prepare for this guy. Because while right now, if you're DC, you look at Alabama's running game, you go, I think we can handle them. If you put A.K. Deer out there and he busts a couple, all of a sudden, okay, there's something else for them to prepare for. I would love to see it. How many games has he played in? Just the one, or has he played in two?
I believe he's played in 2 games.
I can look it up here in a minute, but
yep, I believe he's played in 2 games. So, and
not that it matters, but you can play in up to 4 games and then still be redshirted, correct?
That's correct. He played in 4 games plus the postseason bowl game. I don't think you can't play in every single playoff game and expect a redshirt. I don't think how that works. But regardless, he can play in 4 games is the number to pay attention to right now. Redshirt is not like it used to be. I don't think they care if he redshirts or not. I was
about to say, I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters. But that said, if you've played in 4 games and 1 more, you lose the red shirt, you need to make a decision about it. Don't just willy-nilly it. I mean, and just at the end of the year go, oh, how many games do you play in? 5? Oh, darn it. No, you don't do that. You are conscious of it because you'd rather redshirt than just him playing 5 games. I mean, him playing in 5 games versus redshirting is dumb. Redshirt him if you're only talking about 5 games. So you do pay attention to it. But I think at this point in the season, someone asks, are we really going to blow his red shirt? Yes. If it means helping the football team win games, yes, that's far more important than redshirting him, helping the team win games. Are we just going to blow the red shirt for the heck of it because we don't like red shirts? No, that's not true at all either. That's crazy.
It does make some sense to get his feet wet again, for real this time against Oklahoma, because number one, we need a shot in the arm at that position. We need some kind of threat. We just don't have one right now. And I'm not throwing Jam Millard and Daniel Hill and all that under the bus, but I mean, I'm just telling it like it is. Then if he gets his feet wet again against Oklahoma, sort of feels the pressure of a huge game, because make no mistake, this is a monster game. Then next week, or when we play Eastern Illinois, let him get a lot of run. And then he's ready again for a bigger role at Auburn, hopefully, and then on into the playoffs. Yep. So I think there's a lot of positives to his playing in this game. And even if it's in a limited role, I'm also like you. Look, if I don't want to burn his red shirt to burn his red shirt, but if we play him this game, I expect he's going to play the rest of the year and be more prominent. Assuming he plays and plays well.
Well. I mean, a good play and indicate he needs more time. And by that, I mean probably more pass protection. And I've said this before on the show. I think it's worth saying again. In terms of that pass protection, how important it is. If A.K. Deer has 18 carries for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns on Saturday, but whiffs on a pass pro so bad that Ty Simpson gets lit up and hurt and is lost for the season, here's the grade A.K. Deer gets for the game. F minus. And I think I left out a minus. I mean, you cannot get the quarterback hit and hurt. It doesn't matter that you're a productive player on the other carries. It's that vital. Keeping Ty healthy is of the utmost priority. We're in a playoff run here in large part because of how great Ty Simpson is. We got to keep him healthy. That's first and foremost. We're winning the games running the ball like we're running the ball. A.K. Deer would be gravy if he's fantastic running the football, but you got to protect Ty. That's still first and foremost.
100%. And like you said, if he goes in there and whiffs on a block, all the other stuff doesn't matter. By the way, there's a great article on Ty Simpson on ESPN that somebody needs to go. Somebody needs to check it out. I meant everybody. I don't know why I said somebody, but everybody needs to go check it out. Speaking of things to check out, how about FanDuel. You know you want to check it out. You probably already have checked it out. And when the opening whistle blows on a new repair, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. But the NBA is back. And there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride that hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps making every game exciting all through the game. That's what's awesome, especially when your team is making that late push. That's when it's really fun. So right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of
the NBA.
That is correct again, Jimmy. You're getting good.
I almost said Mark Sears NBA because we haven't talked about this enough. I'm so thrilled that Mark Sears made the Bucks roster. That's just the funnest story ever, because how many grumpy, cynical Alabama fans out there would say, as if it's diminishing what he accomplished at Alabama, yeah, but he'll never play in the NBA. Guess what? He is. And I don't care that he never starts or never makes an all-star team, or, hey, he is forever an NBA basketball player. He's been on the roster for the Bucks already. He scored. Saw him make a three the other night. Mark Sears, NBA basketball player forever.
Colin Sexton's still doing well, by the way. And we're going to talk about some more basketball in the third segment. By the way, today is my mama's birthday. And in the words of her favorite artist, Tupac Shakur, dear mama, you're appreciated. Jimmy doesn't know what I'm talking about, I don't think. You don't, do you?
I know who Tupac Shakur is, but
you don't know the Dear Mama reference.
No, I do not.
There's a great Tupac. One of his biggest hits was Dear Mama.
I just know that California song with Dre is really good.
Oh, gosh, that is the most Caucasian thing you have said on this podcast.
I know.
Okay, so
it is an actual song. I did get that. I didn't make it up, and I did. The worst. It would have been worse if I got like the wrong artist.
That's a good point.
Dre and Tupac, California.
Okay, so injuries ahead of this game. The Quay Russo thing. I mean, you think he plays, Jimmy?
I wouldn't be surprised if he played on a very limited basis. I don't think he would start and play a ton of the game. On the other hand,
who plays more snaps? Tupac. Quay Russo or A.K. Deer?
A.K. Deer.
A.K. Deer, I'm with you.
That was so good. I really think I'll go A.K. Deer, and I'm prepared to be wrong, but I think we'll see some Quay, but again, Yanze Pierre is doing a masterful job of filling in, to say the least. So even when Quay Russo comes back completely healthy, it'll be interesting. It's not like Yanze Pierre is going to the bench. It's not that situation at all. I'm imagining it just seems like such a great, what I call platoon, because I'm a baseball guy, so I still call it a platoon, which is, the righty-lefty platoon. But for me, football linebacker, it's like, okay, this guy's good against the pass, this guy's good against the run. Pierre needs to be out there on passing downs. Quay Russo is probably still a better player against the run. To me, it's just an automatic, hey, you're out there for the run situations, you're out there for the pass situations. That makes so much sense to me. But they're both such good players that if the opponent goes, oh, well, that's fine, we'll just run it when Yanze's in there, and we'll throw it when Quay's in there. Hey, these guys are good enough to handle that. So I think that's what will happen when Quay comes back full time.
I'm with you on that. And, I talked about it yesterday. I hate to be so indecisive about this, but I just don't know if anybody knows if Quay's going to play yet. I would love to see him again. Same kind of thing about A.K. Deer. I want him to get reacclimated to the game. And it's a tough one to get reacclimated, don't get me wrong. But then he can come back, hopefully, with more presence for Eastern Illinois, and then come back with even more against Auburn, and then be ready for the playoffs. That's my hope. With
the Quay thing, I'm adding 2 and 2 and coming up with and I hope I've come up with 4 here, not 5. But the genesis of it all is I heard a few weeks ago from inside the program that the Oklahoma game was sort of a target for Quay, like he might be back for Oklahoma. Now we're at Oklahoma week, and magically he's been moved up to questionable. He's been out Now he's moved up to questionable the same week that I always heard was sort of the target week for him. So I think he'll be back, and I think he'll play. I just imagine it would be limited.
Speaking of questionable, R. Mason Thomas for Oklahoma, who I would say that Stone Cat is a pretty good defensive lineman too, but R. Mason Thomas, I think, is their best defensive lineman. He's the one that when, he had to sit out the first half, I think, of the Auburn game, and then when he came in, God, I think if I remember right, he did enough to win like Defensive Player of the Week or Defensive Lineman of the Week or something. He's a menace. So if he's questionable, if he doesn't get to play, that's a big help.
It's funny you mentioned Auburn. My comp for R. Mason in terms of people that haven't watched Oklahoma or don't know Oklahoma too much and want to know what kind of player he is, he reminds me a lot of Auburn's Carl Lawson. Remember that guy? He's a lot like him, an undersized defensive end, but completely he's unblockable at times. Dominant player. It would be a big deal if he's out. I know he's listed, I believe, as questionable on the first availability report. My understanding is that I was expecting to see him listed as doubtful, but so maybe he will play. I have heard he's more doubtful than questionable, so that would be a big plus for Alabama. I mean, this is a difference maker, no doubt. But they have several good defenders. They're very deep up front. They lead the nation in tackles for loss. And by like a wide margin. Yeah. This is a disruptive defense. That's what they do. They're very disruptive. They're fantastic against the run. But heck, like I heard Josh Pate say the other night, if you're fantastic against the run against Alabama, that's kind of irrelevant. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Alabama's not going to run the ball whether you're good or not against the run. They're not very good at it. So Oklahoma limiting Alabama in the run game is just sort of playing to the script.
It's like saying an offensive lineman runs a 4.7. Like, who cares? He's never going to have to do it. So, I mean, you don't have to stop the run against us. We've already stopped the run. It's our game plan.
You can't do that to our pledges. Only we can do that to our pledges.
So, any other surprises injury-wise that you know of?
The thing I wanted to talk about is Danny Lewis. I think it's one of the things we haven't talked about enough. We talk about not being able to run the ball constantly on this show and on every Alabama show and every Alabama message board. Why can't we run the ball? Why can't we run the ball? We don't talk about tight end enough. I think it might even be the number one reason Alabama doesn't run the ball very well. And not having Danny Lewis this season. I mean, it's really been a season-long thing because Danny Lewis played 3 snaps last week. Now he's just out for this week. He missed the entirety of the spring. This has been a year-long thing for him. And look, the 3 games that Danny Lewis played significant snaps, Alabama ran the ball okay in those games. That can't be a coincidence.
That's right. But now let me stop you there.
Really missed this guy.
Let me stop you there. If that's the case, then why in the world haven't we played Samarco or Dalton Brody or Brody Dalton, whichever one it is? I can't remember. It's two first names, two kind of West Coast first names. Why haven't we played some of these guys that we knew weren't receivers? We figured they were blockers. Jeff Samarco had 1 catch for 4 yards last year at West Virginia. Yep. So, I mean, it wasn't like we were like, hey, this guy, he'll beat you deep. No, we're thinking, hey, we might need him to run block. So I think part of it is a combination of we just don't have a dynamic running back either. So it's better almost to have a Cuevas in there or Caleb in there that will catch the ball and be more of a threat that way, because their run blocking may not be up to snuff, but at least even if it was, we don't know if our running back could do something.
I think the answer is it's a little harsh, but I think this is just the answer as to why those guys don't. I don't think Dalton and Samarco and other tight ends, even Jay Lindsey, they don't play because they don't block as well as Caleb Edwards blocks. Edwards is a better blocker than they are. But the thing is, Caleb Edwards isn't good enough as he needs to be. And obviously, it's no shot against him. He's a true freshman, still learning. Caleb Edwards is going to be probably an awesome football player by the time he leaves Alabama, but he's still learning. But even as a freshman, he's apparently a better blocker than Lindsey, than Dalton, than Samarco. That's why he plays. Now, I would say that it needs to get better. Of course it needs to get better. He's a freshman. But I do think getting the tight end position blocked has been a big issue that we rarely really talk about across the board. But it's a significant issue in terms of why Alabama is unable to run the football. It's either the number one issue or it's on a list of a few issues.
Let me tell you about Supply House. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing and HVAC and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Join the free Trade Master program today and score serious perks like priority shipping and lower prices and dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5. That's the number 5, SHCollege5, number 5, for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people and real service. So, one way I put in the side thing over there, I'm not sure if it's over there. I said this staff can recruit, and we know that. This staff is putting together another class, and apparently the reviews are coming in from Elijah Haven and all these other dudes, the number one interior lineman in the country. And, all these folks are just like, oh, my God, Alabama blew me away. So if we think this class coming up is going to be good, next year's class may be even better. This staff can definitely recruit. But what I probably should have said, instead of this staff can recruit, all in capital letters, I should have said this staff can evaluate. And let me tell you why. So there was a post the other day on, I think it was on Bama Online, or it could have been a tweet, I'm not sure. But and I don't remember who posted it. So I want to give you credit. I wish I could, but I don't see it. He says, for the sake of curiosity, I did some research to see how recruits that decommitted from Alabama in the 25 class are performing. Check this out. Anthony Rogers, Turbo Rogers. He flips to Ohio State. No stats. Jace Clarizio. He flipped to, I don't remember who, but he's got no stats. Jamie French. He flipped to, I don't remember who. He's got one catch for 6 yards. Caleb Cunningham. This one blew me away. 1 catch, 19 yards.
That is shocking. That's shocking. I'd have bet the house. I would have bet the Supply House on Caleb Cunningham. And the fact that he's not an impactful freshman is shocking. The others, Jamie French, also a little surprising.
Where is Jamie French? I forgot.
Miami? Did he go to Texas or Florida?
Did he go to Texas? He might have gone to Texas.
I think he went to Texas.
He did go to Texas. All right. Duke Smith, who flipped Auburn very famously, because one of the reasons Auburn took his twin brother.
So much. No stats. No stats.
Not a stat. Zamir Smith, I've forgotten he was committed to us. 2 receptions, -6 yards. Dontrell Glover, now an offensive lineman, he's played in 9 games. Ty Haywood has played in games and started one. Mason Short has played in 1 game. Antonio Coleman, remember his whirlwind of a recruitment?
Yeah.
Flip and flip and flip and flip. No stats. Zion Grady, he was committed to Alabama, but just for a minute.
And I think he was committed to the old staff.
He was. He has 8 tackles and 1 sack.
The new staff wasn't as crazy about him and felt he was a poor schematic fit with what they did on defense.
He has 8 tackles and 1 sack. Jadon Harmon has 10 tackles. Javion Hilson has 1 tackle. Dawson Merritt has 8 tackles. And Miles Johnson, who I know is at Florida, he has 4 tackles. My point being, there is not one guy in that class who has made a true impact. Now, maybe Dontrell Glover, maybe Ty Haywood.
And what you were trying to give our staff credit by saying these were guys that they dumped and it ends up they weren't.
I don't know about dumped. I mean, some of them, yes. Caleb Cunningham wasn't necessarily we dumped it.
It was a miss.
Yeah.
They tried to sign him and just failed to. Ty Haywood the same way.
I'm willing to bet. I am willing to bet this, that if we really pursue, if we had been dying to get, if one of these guys was Ryan Williams, like we're dying to get him, I believe it would have been a lot closer for some of them. If not, we would have kept him. Like Antonio Coleman, I feel quite certain what we eventually said was, don't even worry about visiting anymore. You've already done flip twice. Forget it.
We just stopped recruiting him.
And Duke Smith, for instance, he might be a fantastic player, but I know we weren't going to take his brother.
I don't think so.
Then, some of these guys like that. I mean, so what I'm saying is I'm trying to give them some credit for not if Caleb Cunningham, for instance, had 30 catches and 4 touchdowns with 600 yards, I'd be like, gosh, I wish we had done all we could to hold on to him. What I'm saying is I just feel better. And then, of course, when you look at some of the other guys, even somebody like a Parker Brailsford, who was undersized, wasn't highly recruited, or London Simmons, who was a 3-star guy that everybody else sort of poo-pooed, he's come in and kicked some butt. So this staff can evaluate.
Yeah, to me, I look at that list of players this way. I mean, I think one way to look at it is don't freak out when Alabama loses a guy they want, or Alabama cuts. For instance, there's a wide receiver right now committed to Alabama that's clearly not going to be signing with Alabama. That couldn't be any more clear. And hey, he might go on to have a good career, and if so, that's great. But don't freak out over the quote supposed loss of each kid. They're not all certain to be superstars. Several kids on that list were people that a lot of fans wanted. Some of them I wanted. I certainly wanted Caleb Cunningham. Ty Haywood would have been nice. But again, I think those were NIL deals that Alabama just wasn't comfortable matching because they didn't feel, and at this point looks correct, that they didn't feel that those were guys that you, quote, break the bank over. Now the system has changed. By the way, since the Caleb Cunningham and Ty Haywood recruitments, the system has changed. It would have been interesting to go through recruiting again with those two and see where they end up, because we do have a little bit of a different system now insofar as compensation, and it's a little bit more of a level playing field out there.
All right, finally, Jimmy, I'd be mad at myself if I didn't bring up the Purdue game. I did a crossover episode with Nick Arvin from Locked On Boilermakers. I predicted Bama to win tonight 95-93. He predicted Purdue to win something like 93-82. I was like, whoa, okay.
Nuts.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and maybe they will. But I'll say, the one thing I'd say about this, I think these two teams have the best pair of guards in the country. Now, if you want to put Bama one or Purdue one, I don't know. But I'm saying I'm not trading Aiden and LeBaron / Latrell Wrightsell in there kind of for anybody. And they've got Braden Smith and they've got that Loyer kid who's just he lit us up last year. So
you wouldn't expect a Loyer to be that good.
No, you wouldn't. Well, we had Lawson Schaefer, who was like a Loyer.
I played pickup games with some Lawyers when I was a Lawyer. Let me tell you, there wasn't a LeBaron Phylon amongst them. I can tell you that. But I think here's the way I'll say Braden Smith will be the best guard on the floor tonight, but Alabama wins the game. I think Alabama's depth of talent, Alabama playing at home. I like Alabama to win. I give Purdue a ton. This is a really good basketball team. Capable of winning a national championship good. That's how good Purdue is.
Oh, yeah.
I like Alabama at home. And as much as everybody's going to go, well, of course you do. You're an Alabama homer. I'll admit right now, if we're playing in West Lafayette tonight, I'd pick Purdue to win. I picked St. John's to win the other day and was wrong.
Yeah, we did do that.
I'll pick Alabama to lose if they're playing away against a team I perceive to be national championship good. I got no problem saying I don't know that Alabama's going to win that game. I do think Alabama will win tonight. Playing at home, love the depth at guard, but Braden Smith will be fun to watch. For those who are just basketball aficionados, you love college basketball, how cool is it to watch Braden Smith play basketball in Coleman Coliseum? This is one of the very best players in the sport, and he's going to be difficult to deal with tonight. It'll be interesting to see which one of the guards draws him. I mean, who's guarding him? Is it Phylon? Is it Holloway? I mean, who guards Braden Smith, I think, is a fascinating question.
By the way, Braden Smith, apparently, I didn't know this, is on pace to set the all-time assist record in NCAA history and surpass Bobby Hurley. You don't do that lightly. And the thing about Purdue is I'm surprised Zach Edey's still in on this team. They always bring back everybody. I'm like, has nobody left there? I mean, how do y'all have all the same people you always have? So, I don't know. But it's going to be a fun game. I hope Coleman is rocking. And I can't wait.
Aren't you going?
You're going to be there?
Oh, yeah, I'm going.
I'm 50-50 right now. I got a number one, I don't have a ticket.
You're
Number two, but I think that I think I have access to a ticket. And if I do, I'll be there. All right.
You're
And as
questionable.
my phone rings,
You're questionable. I'm in, which is not on the availability report, by the way.
that's not on the availability report.
I'm in. You're questionable.
Good Lord, I hate it when people do this to me. I should have. After 4 rings, my office isn't that big. After 4 rings, you should know. Hey, he ain't available.
He's not picking up. He's not picking
Anyway,
up.
all right, that's going to do it for today's pod. We'll be back tomorrow.
Prediction show tomorrow. Prediction show.
Yeah. All right. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.